everybody, it's Dr. Jo and Princess Remy, and today we're going to talk about sciatica. Is it Piriformis Syndrome or a herniated disc? So let's get started. Yeah! Disclaimer alert! Disclaimer alert! So if you haven't subscribed already, make sure and click on the button down there. So with sciatica, it can be coming from a herniated disc or it can be coming from Piriformis Syndrome because that sciatic nerve starts at your spine and it goes all the way down the back of your leg. And so sometimes it gets pressed on that piriformis because it goes underneath that muscle. So a lot of times you just are having that leg pain, numbness, tingling, weakness, and you're not sure where it's coming from. So if you haven't gone to your doctor or physical therapist to be diagnosed yet, there are a couple of simple things that you can try, but I'd really recommend going and having somebody else check you out just to be on the safe side. So with Piriformis Syndrome, it's usually a tight piriformis. That's what happens. That sciatic nerve runs underneath it, so if it's pushing because it's tight, then it's going to compress that nerve and give you that pain. So an easy way to see if that piriformis muscle is tight is to roll over onto your stomach. And so once you roll over onto your stomach, you're going to bring both legs up into this position. And then really simply, you're just going to roll your foot out because this motion stretches out that piriformis muscle. So you can just kind of, if you can do it in front of a mirror, that would probably be best. If you do it with somebody else, they can check for you. But you're just going to drop it over and then drop your other one over and see if there's a big difference. So mine actually is a little bit tight on my right side, and I do know that. I don't actually have sciatic symptoms, but I do know it's a little bit tighter. You can drop them both at the same time also to see if there's a significant difference with that. So that's a pretty easy way to test if your piriformis is tight and that it might be Piriformis Syndrome instead of a herniated disc. While you're in this position, you can also check to see if it's a herniated disc. When you are lying down flat on your stomach, if you come up into this position, keeping your hips down, when it's a herniated disc, a lot of times you can have a couple different reactions to that. The first time you do it, sometimes it will reproduce those symptoms just by pushing up and you'll feel it. But if you do it a couple times or hold that position, usually your symptoms actually get a little bit better because by extending up into that position with your back, you're kind of pushing that disc back in, which will take pressure off of that nerve. So you might feel a little worse at first when you come up, but if you continue to do it, it will feel better. But if you come up and you feel it when you do this, and then it's probably not your piriformis that's causing that leg nerve pain. So that's another good way to kind of say, is it the piriformis causing the pain or is it a herniated disc causing the pain? So a pretty easy way to stretch the piriformis. You can do this sitting in a chair or you can do it lying down as well. But the first stretch is a figure 4 piriformis stretch, and it's really easy to do. If you want to lie all the way down, you can. You don't have to, but you're just going to take the leg of the side that you're feeling it on and cross it over. And we call it a figure 4 because if you look down, it looks like the number 4 when you cross your leg. And then keeping your back straight, you're just going to lean up into it like this. You should feel a stretch right through there. So again, you can see you can do this sitting in a chair as long as you keep your back pretty straight and bend forward at your hips. So you're not curling over and do that. I don't feel a stretch with that. Keeping my back straight and leaning in and pushing in like that. And so by doing that, that will just stretch out that piriformis muscle. Hold it for 30 seconds and do that 3 times. Another good stretch to help stretch out the piriformis, sometimes if people don't feel it with this stretch, another stretch is bringing your knee to your opposite shoulder. So if you're kind of lying down, you're going to bring this knee up and take it, grab it with your other hand, and pull up and across your body. So again, you should feel it right through there. So make sure you relax your head. I'm just bringing it up so I can talk to you, but make sure your whole body's nice and relaxed. But I'm not just coming up. It's not a knee to chest. I'm coming up and over like I'm pulling that knee towards that opposite chest. So again, you're going to hold that stretch for 30 seconds, do it 3 times. Some people like to bring the other leg up, which you can do, and still pull it up and over, and that will just take a little pressure off of your lower back as well. So that's a good way to stretch out that piriformis. If you think it's a herniated disc, rolling back onto your stomach and doing what we call prone pops on your elbows is a good way, again, like I talked about, kind of like that test. If you just come up and kind of push like this, that extension movement sometimes helps push that disc back in. So if you hold this position in the beginning, it might be a little uncomfortable, but it should feel a little bit better. If it continues to feel uncomfortable, I wouldn't keep doing it. Make sure you go see your doctor or physical therapist. But if it feels good and you feel like you can go a little bit more, then come up a little bit more into almost like a push-up position. But always keep your hips down. So you want the top part of your hips to always stay on the floor or the mat. So it's not coming up like this, it's really getting that bend at your lower back. And then another great one for the herniated disc, just to kind of get everything moving and stretched out, is the cat dog. Or some people call it cat cow, some people call it cat camel, a whole bunch of different stuff. But getting on all fours or in quadruped, try and make sure your shoulders are directly above your hands, just to keep everything even. And then you're going to start off with the cat, where you tuck in your chin and arch your back up into this position. You only have to hold it for maybe 5 to 10 seconds, and then drop your hips down and bring your head up into the dog position. So same thing, just 5 to 10 seconds. You might feel this one a little bit more again, but just kind of alternate back and forth, doing about 3 each way. So that's just going to be enough to get that lower back moving. And if you happen to have a herniated disc in there, that's going to loosen everything up and really make it feel better. Oh, there you go. So was sciatica Piriformis Syndrome or herniated disc? If you'd like to help support my channel, make sure and click on the link up there. And don't forget to subscribe, right? By clicking down there. Yeah. And remember, be safe. Have fun like Remy.